superordinate goals, right? That was superordinate goals, right? The next we are going to discuss today is the contact hypothesis, right? So what does this hypothesis state? This hypothesis states that when there is a contact, when there are two groups interact with each other, there will be a reductions in the prejudice. For example, if the two groups if there are people coming from, I'm just giving an example, people come from India and people coming from Korea have some prejudice against each other. If the two groups contact, if the two groups interact with each other, it will reduce in the, it will help in the reductions of the prejudice, right? This was being said, but it's not merely the interaction between the two groups that will help in reducing the prejudice, but there are certain assumptions that should be met, right? So we cannot say that if the two, for example, we cannot say that if India and Korean people coming from Korea are interacting with each other, then it will help in reducing the prejudice. No, but there are certain assumptions that should be met before the contact hypothesis is proved, right? So there are four assumptions that has been talked about, that has been discussed in your book. The first assumption is the equal status or equal social status. Right, equal social status basically means that members of groups which are in conflict or with each other should have equal status. Right, it does not mean that one have a higher status and one have a lower status. Then it will not help in reducing the prejudice. Right, so it basically means whenever the two groups are interacting with each other, we should keep in mind that the social status or the status of the two groups are equal. Then only it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? It could be done in any way, right? For example, it could be through different kinds of measures, to different kinds of techniques that we can apply, which will help in reducing the status differences. Right. For example, when they are interacting with each other, you gave a common theme to them, right? You gave them common issues to them, right? For example, there are many international organizations are there. There are UN is there. There is World Bank is there. There are many international organizations are there, right? There are many countries coming from developed countries, developing countries, and underdeveloped countries, right? But when they talked about the climate change, right, there is one international organization that specifically work for the climate change. When they talked about the climate change, right, so it does not have any, it does not take into consideration that either one country is coming from developing countries, either one country is coming from the developed countries or underdeveloped countries. All the views are taken into consideration, right? So what is here we are doing? We are ensuring that the status of all the groups are equal, right? So whenever the two groups are interacting, one must keep into mind that the two groups must have the equal status. Right? Is it clear to everyone? ये clear है first assumption, first point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. The next is the sustained. Okay. The next is the sustained close contact. Sustained close contact basically means when there is interactions or when the two groups are or the members of the two groups are interacting, right? It should be one-on-one basis and it should be maintained over an extended period of time. What does it mean, right? So it basically means that there should not be a mediocre between the two. Right, there should be not a middleman or there should not be a third member between the two, right? Or it should be when there is an interaction between the two groups is taking place, it should be for an extended period of time. For example, does not mean when there is a differences or when there is a prejudice between the two groups and I'm calling for a dinner, it will not help in reducing the prejudice because you are calling them for only one time. There is only one time interaction will be there, right? It should be extended, right? For example, these international organizations, some of the international organizations held their meetings annually. Some of the international organizations held their meeting 5 years or after 2 years, right? So what does it indicate? That there is a sustained, or there is a extended long, or there is a the interaction between the two groups or between the countries is over a longer period of time, right? For example, UN, right? Either it's a pandemic or any other situations, they even interact virtually, right? They went for the virtual meeting, right? So there are many international organizations. ASEAN is there, right? There are BRICS meetings are held. Why these meetings are held annually or biannually, right? Why this meeting is held? Because it is when there will be interactions which is extended over a period of time, it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? Imagine what could happen if there could be only one meeting for example, one meeting was held among all the countries, or one meeting was organized for all the countries on the issue of climate change, right? उसके बाद कोई meeting ही नहीं हुई, ठीक है? So we cannot understand the perspective, we cannot understand the others issues, right? So when one group is interacting with the another group, it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? So it should be extended over a period of time. For example, when the two groups have any conflict or have any prejudice against each other, then you can organize. For example, you can call for a dinner, then you can call for a meeting, right? Then you can call for any other conferences, then any other seminar. So it should be extended for a period of time. The second is, it should be on one-to-one basis, that the one group is interacting with the another group. So in such international organization, what happened, that the people for example, India is interacting on one-to-one basis with the other countries, right? So that should be done. That includes the second assumptions of the contact hypothesis, that there should be interaction should be on one-to-one basis, and it should be extended over a period of time. That comes to the second assumption, sustained close contact, right? Then we have the third assumptions. The third assumption talks about the intergroup cooperations, right? Intergroup cooperation is something similar to the superordinate or the subordinate goals. For example, the two groups. Just 1 minute, class. Okay, sorry. So the third assumption is the intergroup cooperations, right? It is something similar to the it is something similar. You can call it the superordinate goals. So what happened is the intergroup cooperation is that the two groups are interacting with each other for a common purpose, for a common goals, or to achieve a common goals, right? So these international organizations, either we are talking about the UN, either we are talking about the ASEAN or any other international organizations. Why they come together? Because they have a common purpose, common goals. The UN has a specific purpose, right? For example, there is a specific organization working for the climate change, right? So all the countries, either they are underdeveloped or developing countries, or the developed countries are coming together to talk about or to solve the issues related with the climate change, right? So what is happening here is that there is an intergroup cooperation. All the countries are interacting with each other to achieve the common goals, to reduce the influence or reduce the impact of climate change on Earth, right? So they come up with the different kind of measures, right? Then you may have heard that the countries are coming together and they talked about the common issues, for example, terrorism or climate change or greenhouse effect, right? Such kind of things are going on, right? So what is happening is that the countries, for example, there could be, you may have heard about that there is a rift or there is some disputes between America and Russia. But when we talked about the common purpose, when we talk about the common goals such as climate change, common issues such as climate change or terrorism, all the countries, irrespective of whatever they have the disputes or rift between them, they come together, sit together, and solve the issues and work together for a common goal, that is terrorism or the climate change, right? So this is the third assumption that calls for the intergroup cooperations. So for example, you may take into considerations whenever any natural disasters has or for example whenever there was a tsunami, or you may remember when the southern coast or the southern states were hit by tsunami. At that point of time, most of the states or all and the people all over India cooperated and helped the people in the South India, right? So what is happening, that the main purpose was to help these peoples to help them to combat these issues, right? So this was there, right? You may have heard about, for example, Odisha is always hit by the cyclones, right? People do provide, and some states do provide help to that state, right? And you in the COVID also, you may have heard that people forget about the disposal, but what their main purpose is to eradicate these problems, or to to help people of whoever are facing this whosoever is facing any issue in this area or in this time, all the people are coming together to help them, right? So this you can understand that whatever the prejudice, whatever the prejudice aware there between the two groups, they basically gets reduced when the two groups or when the people comes together for a common purpose. The same happened in the Robert Cave experiments, when the two groups, that is the rattlers and eagles, come together for a common purpose to mend that water tank that was that was not working properly, right? So that helps in reducing the prejudice, or that helps in reducing the intergroup conflict among the groups, right? For example, you can take the example from 1857 or the 1947s, when the India was struggling, or the when we talk about the national freedom struggle, right? So people coming from different backgrounds, people coming from different ethnic religions, right? They all come together. All together, what their main purpose was to free India from the Britishers, right? To gain freedom, to gain freedom, right? So this kind of interactions, right? So where the people or where the groups are interacting to achieve a common goal or to achieve a common purpose, it helps in reducing the prejudice, right? So whenever there is a common goal to achieve, all the groups will interact to achieve a common purpose or to achieve that common goal, right? For example, your department, our college, right? All the departments of Rajguru College work together, right? For organizing an annual day, for organizing the college fest or freshers party or farewell, right? So in reducing the prejudice that may have in helping reducing the prejudice or the intergroup conflict among the people or among the groups. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes, class.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the last assumptions and the contact hypothesis is the social norms favoring the equality. There must be a social perceptions largely fostering by group authority figures that prejudice and discriminations are non-condoned or will not be propagated, right? Basically, what does it mean that the social norms favoring the equality is that one second, Bache, sorry. Okay, the last assumptions in this contact hypothesis is the social norms favoring the equality. What does it mean basically? Social norms favoring the equality is that that the norms of that group, right, or the norms should be such that it favors the equality. For example, when we talked about the UN, when we talked about such international organizations, the leader of such organizations says that we are equal, right? Every country has its equal right in this, and we and every country is equal in their voting or any issues, right? So basically, what does it mean? That such international organizations is favoring the equality. They are not discriminating amongst the one over the another, right? For example, any institutions we talked about, or anything that we talked about, if that institutions, if that groups is promoting the equality, if the authority is promoting the equality, that everyone is equals, and they are promoting the intergroup contact between the groups, and they are working on reducing the prejudice, then such things helps in reducing the prejudice, right? For example, when we talked about the freedom struggles, there were many leaders, right? They say that we all are equal, and we should work towards or we should unite together to fight against the Britishers, right, to gain freedom from the Britishers, right? This was the most of the leaders favored this, right? So what was they were saying, that we should reduce, that we should favor the equality. They were favoring the equality. When such norms are there where they favor the equality, right? So this helps in reducing the prejudice, and also where they promote the intergroup contact between the groups, right? This also helps in reducing the prejudice or the reducing the intergroup contact. Social norms basically means the norms, the rules that that you have, right, that favors the equality. For example, if I be the leader of a particular group, and I have the norms that my group can interact with any other group, my group can have an interaction with any other group, I favor the equality, right? Everyone is equal, and also that everyone has equal stake, and I promote equality, and I work in reducing the prejudice, then there are higher chances that these things will help in reducing the prejudice, right? For example, when we talked about the UN or IMF, there are when all the countries, either developed or developing or underdeveloped countries, come together, right, when they have such kinds of meetings, then the countries can individually interact with the other countries at a personal level, right? So what is happening is that such norms or such organization is favoring equality, right? So it's helping in reducing the prejudice. You may have heard about the two countries, or the PM of the two countries have an interactions, right? Have an interactions at the personal level, right? Or have a very confidential meeting, right? Okay, for example, you may have heard कि YPM, XPM ने international organizations की meeting attend की, और वहाँ पे एक particular president के साथ एक meeting भी held की at the personal level, right? So this also, what is happening here, that these international organizations is favoring equality, right? They are promoting the intergroup contact, that one can interact with the other group, right? So it helps in reducing the prejudice, right? Are you able to understand? Yes, first 2 points is basically, the first states that there should be the two groups should be in equal social status, right? That the members of the groups in conflict should interact in setting where everything has roughly equal status, right? So the first group, should I explain that, Bachir? The 2 points?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so equal social status मतलब ये होता है, for examples, when I'll just give an example of this. When our college is going to organize an annual day, right? Each department can participate, right? They are all equal in that. It does not mean that one is favoring a particular department, right? So all the students from every department, from all the department, can participate in the annual day fest, right? In annual day, if there is going to organize a college freshers party, then the students from all the departments can participate in that freshers party, right? They are in equal social status, right? There is no one. There is no one above the another, right? This is a platform where all the students are at equal level. It is, we cannot say that that one department have a higher status over the other. No, every department have the equal opportunity to participate in that, to come to attend their freshers party, right? So all are having the equal social status. So whenever we are having any kinds of interactions, right? For examples, whenever the two groups are having any kind of interaction, one should make sure that there should be an equal social status, right? For examples, when you have heard about this international organizations such as BRICS, Shanghai Cooperation Organizations, whenever the countries come together to talk about a common purpose, all are having the equal status, right? For examples, you may have heard about some international organizations such as the World Bank, or some organizations where it is given preference who had contributed more. ठीक है, कुछ ऐसे भी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होते हैं जहां पे अगर आप जैसे फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर कंट्री, द कंट्री हैज कंट्रीब्यूटेड मोर टू दैट इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, राइट, देन दैट कंट्री विल हैव मोर वोटिंग पावर्स, देन दे आर नॉट फेवरिंग द इक्वल सोशल स्टेटस. वहां पे इंटरेक्शन करने की वजह से एक हुआ कि he had more power over me, right? So that will not be help in reducing the prejudice, right? Where there is for examples, in the UN, there are many organizations under the UN also. So where the majority, where every decision is taken by the majority, that if more than 50% countries agree, then we will go for this particular decisions, right? So because each country has the equal status, right? In that case, it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? For examples, when you are organizing a departmental fest, right, irrespective either it's a first year, second year, third years, all students from all the 3 years can participate in the department, right? So they are having the equal social status, right? For examples, when we are having an election for the post of president, sometimes we are very clear that the students coming from the third year can only can fill the form, right, for the post of president, right? In such cases where one is higher over the other one, where one has a higher status over the other, then that will not help in reducing the prejudice, right? For example, when we talked about the gender prejudice, right, with respect to gender, right? So if we are having a conference or any seminar on a particular issues, and we are giving equal opportunity to both the gender, right, that you all can participate, you all can share your issues, and you all have the equal voting rights, right? Then that means that whenever they will be interacting with each others, it will help in reducing the prejudice. It will help in reducing the prejudice, right? So I'm saying that whenever the two groups are interacting with each other, one should make sure that the two groups are in equal social status, right? If it is not done, it will not help in reducing the prejudice. If one group is in higher status and one group is lower status, then it will not help in reducing the prejudice, right? For example, if I'm having any meeting, right, and the women are having the more voting powers as compared to the male, or vice versa, which basically means that the male would have the more voting powers as compared to females, right? What would happen? It will not help in reducing the prejudice, because the platform where they are interacting with each other is not giving the equal social status to both the groups, right? So where there's a platform which give equal social status, right? Equal social status in any sense, right? I'm just giving an example with respect to voting rights. It could be in any sense, right? So where there is an equal social status, right, then it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? Rakhi, is this clear, Bachche?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay. The next was sustained close contact, right? Sustained close contact basically means when the members, or when there's an interaction between the members of different groups, it should be on one-to-one basis and should be maintained over an extended period of time. What does it basically means that, for examples, whenever your first year arrives in your department, whenever the first year joins the department, right? Each department organize an freshers or organize even in this virtual class or in this online classroom also, where some of the departments or most of the departments do organize a meeting so that they could interact with so that the seniors also, so the freshers or the first years can have interactions with the seniors, right? They're having they are having on one-to-one interactions, right? Sometimes when there is a interaction on one-to-one basis and it is for an extended period of time, it will help in reducing the prejudice. Why? Because when you are interacting with the other groups, all the implicit prejudice that you have, all the explicit prejudice that you one have, right? It gets reduced or it gets reduced, right? For example, okay. For examples. If such, most of the times these meetings are in some of the departments, these meetings are held every month, right? So that the first years get acquainted, to get in touch or get familiarized with the departments and also with the seniors, right? So this, if some of the students may have prejudice against that, seniors will be very strict and in that way, right? I'm just saying that way. So when the students are interacting on one-to-one basis and it is for an extended period of time, such kind of prejudice gets reduced, right? So it's not only with respect to the students or with respect to the seniors and juniors, right? But if, for examples, whenever such groups are interacting, फॉर एग्जाम्पल्स आप इंटरेक्शन करते हो अपने जूनियर के साथ, अपने सीनियर्स के साथ, डिपार्टमेंटल फेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज जब करते हो, या फिर कोई फ्रेशर्स पार्टी ऑर्गेनाइज करते हो, या टेक फेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइज करते हो, या कोई सेमिनार ऑर्गेनाइज करते हो, या कॉन्फ्रेंसेस ऑर्गेनाइज करते हो, आप हमेशा इंटरेक्शंस करते रहते हो, राइट? इट हेल्प्स इन रिड्यूसिंग द प्रेजुडिस बिकॉज दिस इज एन एक्सटेंडेड, because this is over a period of time. It's not a one time basis. You're not interacting with your seniors or juniors on only on one time, right? It is an extended period of time and it is one-to-one basis. Okay, the teacher can only communicate to you, okay, we'll be having a seminar and these are the works that should be done, right, to the councils. Then councils will organize, then councils will have their groups, then interact with the juniors, right? This is how it is done. So when there is interactions going to happen between the two groups, it should be on one-to-one basis, right? That the first group or the group A is interacting with the group B. It should be on one-to-one basis and it should be an extended period or over a period of time. Then it should not be for one period or 1 week के लिए सिर्फ किया या फिर एक दिन के लिए किया, right? It should be over a period of time, right? Is it clear, Rakhi? Or should I give more example to this?
No, ma'am, it is clear.
Right? So these are 4 assumptions, then only a contact hypothesis can work, right? I cannot assume that when for example, one cannot say that when one group is having an interactions with the second group, it will definitely help in reducing the prejudice. No, these assumptions should be met, then only we can only be assured that such kind of interactions will help in reducing the prejudice. Okay, can anyone tell me what were those 4 assumptions that I discussed in today's class? Class, कौन से 4 assumptions हैं?
Ma'am, equal social status, sustained close contact, intergroup cooperation, and social norm favoring equality.
Yes, very good. So these are 4 assumptions or 4 situation conditions that should be met when the two groups are interacting with each other. So you can think about the international organizations also. You can think about some of the national organizations also. For example, what happened in the what we called okay, there are national organizations before this GST, right? So there are meetings being held, right? So in which all the states or the ministers of every state and UT have participated in that meeting. Each state has an equal status, right? So when it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? So whenever such kind of interaction is taking place, one should make sure that the 4 assumptions are met or the 4 situational conditions conditions are there, right? First is the equal social status, right? Second is the sustained close contact. The third is the intergroup cooperations, and the fourth is the social norms favoring the equality. Is it clear to everyone? Right? If it's clear to everyone, can anyone give me an example of the first assumption, that is the equal social status? Haji class, I had given ample examples to you. Can you just give me one example for each assumptions? Yes class, एक assumption, एक example, एक assumptions के. Are you able to understand, class? Able to understand? If you are, then just give me an example of each of the assumptions that I discussed today.
Ma'am, for social equal status, it can be of the LGBTQ society.
How, Bache? Can you explain?
I mean, ma'am, they should be given the equal rights, ma'am. Like in some states, they are not like legal marriages in some countries for the LGBTQ society.
Okay, you are saying that there could be a higher or lower status, right? So, for examples, I can just give okay, the example could be, for example, nowadays, whenever you are filling any form, right? It's an examination, any kind of form. There's a third comes category. Earlier, there was only two category for the gender, male and female, but now you have a third category, right? So they are getting the equal social status, right? So in that kind, we can say the equality is there. The conditions, whatever the assumptions that I've talked about, it basically means कि जब दो groups interact कर रहे हैं, आपको ये चीजें ensure करनी है कि दोनों groups equal हो उस चीजों में, right? For example, if the LGBT earlier, when it was not given a legal status, right, what was happening when the two groups will interact, right? One is having a higher status and another will not be having the higher status, right? So now what is happening is that both the groups are having the same equal status, so they can interact and they can talk about the common issues, and sometimes it helps in reducing the prejudice, right? Are we able to understand, Shubhi?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So here we are not talking about कि मतलब equal status, मतलब ये higher status या social status. I'm saying that whenever the two groups who are in conflict, who have a prejudice against each other, when they are interacting, they must have an equal social status. Agar, for example, now what is happening? If I want to talk about the LGBTQ issues, right? LGBTQ plus issues, right? So I can call upon both the people not from that background and people coming from the LGBTQ, but the issue, there will not be a higher or lower status. Why? Because they have been given the legalized, right? So now they have both the gender have an equal kind of status, right? So it will help in reducing the prejudice, right? So जो आप प्लेटफॉर्म पे दोनों को ग्रुप्स को इंटरैक्ट करवा रहे हो, ये आपको इंश्योर करना है कि उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे दोनों ही इक्वल हो, चाहे आपके सोसाइटी या इस कम्युनिटी में एक इक्वल हो या हायर हो, इट डजंट मैटर, लेकिन उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जहां पे आप इंटरैक्ट करवा रहे हो दोनों ग्रुप को, ये इंश्योर करना है कि दोनों वहां पे इक्वल हो. Like male and female could be in society की एक higher status and lower status, right? But if I'm calling them for any kind of interactions, if there's any kind of interactions is going to happen within the two groups, I should make sure that the two groups are having an equal social status. ठीक है? Is it clear? Class, ये चीजें आपको ध्यान रखनी है कि we are not concerned about what is there in the community, right? But remember the Robert Cave experiment, right? So Robert's Cave experiment में क्या था कि he studied 22 students in a camp basically. कैंप में वो बच्चे वहां पे उतने दिन तक थे, ये सारी चीजें करवाई गई, राइट? सो अगर मैं किसी भी डिनर के लिए या कोई, फॉर एग्जांपल, they were also put into such situations where they interact with each other, but it does not help in reducing the prejudice because होता क्या है कि आप दो ग्रुप को इनवाइट करो डिनर के लिए, राइट, बट जस्ट asking them, just calling them for a dinner does not ensure that they will interact with each other, right? It may happen that कि दो सिर्फ आके डिनर करके वो चले जाए, right? You should make it sure that the two groups are interacting with each other, right? So equal social status होना चाहिए, sustained close contact होना चाहिए, right? And the third is the intergroup cooperations होना चाहिए for a common goals, and the social norms favoring the equality, right? These are situational conditions that should be met where the two groups are interacting with each other. ठीक है? अगर मैं कोई स्टडी या रिसर्च कर रही हूँ जहाँ पे I want to say that this will help in reducing the prejudice, I will ask the participants to come and reduce the prejudice, which will help in reducing the prejudice. For examples, जितने भी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जैसे UN, बहुत सारे डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज, अंडर डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज सारे एक साथ आते हैं, कॉमन इश्यूज डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है? वहां पे उनकी कोई भी एक इट डज नॉट कि डेवलप कंट्री के पास हायर वोटिंग राइट्स, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. वहां पे मेजोरिटी के बेसिस पे डिसीजंस लिए जाते हैं कि whosoever 50% से ज्यादा होगा so will agree on this decisions, right? So इस तरीके से किए जाते हैं. तो it doesn't matter. So what is happening here is that all the countries are having the equal social status, right? Am I clear to all of you? Are these assumptions clear to everyone? Right? Class, किसी को doubt है किसी भी assumptions पे या situational conditions पे? These 4 situational conditions? Class, हाँ ना कुछ तो बोलो.
No doubt, ma'am.
Okay then, I'll just take the attendance. There are more measures that need to be discussed under this topic, right? We'll be doing tomorrow some of them, right? And yeah.